Heading into week 13 now of college football, only 2 regular season weeks left, and of course conference title weekend as well to settle the Heisman race right now. But as of right now, what would your top 5 be for the Heisman Trophy?
The guy that I almost want to say I have 6 and 2 are tied for 5th, but and one of them's Jeremiah Love. But my 5th guy, give me Jacob Rodriguez. Another interception this week, a rushing touchdown. Did you see what Joey McGuire said about this after the game, after the big win against UCF? He said, "Look, all the Heisman talk is about quarterbacks, so I put Jacob at quarterback, and he ran in a touchdown." I mean, it's just the year that he's having at Max. I had to look at it this morning. He is now not just the highest. He passed Ruben Bain for the highest graded defensive player. He is the highest graded football player in college football this season, just ahead of Ruben Bain and Julian Sand. Unreal year Rodriguez is having. One more game against West Virginia to keep racking up numbers. I think it is entirely possible that he'll at least be sitting for the presentation there in New York City. Number 4, give me Haynes King from Georgia Tech. Look, I think we're getting more and more proof every week, and especially, how about Georgia Tech escaping over Boston College, last place Boston College, with a win at the last second there to really not throw the ACC into even more chaos than we already had. We almost reviewed that game, but you know what? They pulled it out. A win is a win, and now Georgia Tech, huge game against Pitt next week. But Haynes King, just another week where he had to carry this team, the defense struggling and found a way through it. Number 3, had a week off this week, 2 more games to go. Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt, second highest graded quarterback in the country this year. Everything he does with his arm and his legs. And then there's a huge, huge bridge that we have to cross because I think there's a massive gap, and realistically, at this point, to me, it's a 2-horse race. I have Fernando Mendoza at number 2. He's got 30 passing touchdowns now. Another really good game against the Wisconsin team that's really struggling. And Julian Sand at number 1. More casual game this week. I believe it was a grade right around a 75. Completion percentage went slightly down just because, it's only such lofty standards, and without Carnell Tate again dominating UCLA in that game. But I've got Mendoza 2. Sand 1. Mendoza maybe closed the gap a little bit this week, but Indiana is off this coming week. Sand gets to put up some numbers against a struggling Rutgers defense. We'll see where that comes out. But at the end of the day, I've thought this for a few weeks now, the Heisman race will also be the Big Ten title game. That is where the finish line will be. I think at a certain point, unless the numbers are just wacky in that game, I think the winner of that game is winning the Heisman.
My top 5 is pretty similar to you. My number 5 actually is your number 3. That's Diego Pavia, the quarterback at Vanderbilt. Like you said, the second highest graded quarterback in college football right now. Vanderbilt is still alive in the playoff race right now. They got a big game this upcoming week against Kentucky, and then another big one after that against Tennessee. But if they win both those, Vanderbilt might make it in for the college football playoff, and that is basically all thanks to Diego Pavia, in my opinion, this year. He has been phenomenal for that team. I think he should, if they win both those games and he keeps grading like he does, he should be at least in New York for the Heisman ceremony. So I got him at number 5. Number 4 for me is the highest graded running back in college football, the best running back in college football, Jeremiah Love, the running back at Notre Dame. He has over 1,100 rushing yards this year, 14 rushing touchdowns, and he's been great as a receiver as well, with 274 receiving yards this season too. So Jeremiah Love, man, has been phenomenal all year for Notre Dame, and he's really starting to catch fire right now. And I would say right now he's the pretty clear favorite to win the Doak Walker Award, even with other guys like Ahmad Hardy having great years too.
A 300-yard game from Hardy might throw a wrench in that.
No, it's still Jeremiah Love. It's still Jeremiah Love. He's the best running back in college football. At number 3 for me is Jacob Rodriguez, the linebacker at Texas Tech. He is, like Dalton said, the highest grade player in college football right now, 93.8 grade, 95.4 run defense grade, 93.3 coverage grade. That's the second best in college football. Best for linebackers right now, too. Jacob Rodriguez, man, he deserves to be in New York for the Heisman ceremony. He's been unreal at linebacker this year for Texas Tech. And the number 2 and number 1 are the same as you. Fernando Mendoza, number 2. Julian Sand, number 1. Mendoza did close the gap a little bit this week, but Julian Sand still leads the country with a 93.5 PFF grade this year. That's best by over 2 points. Mendoza is now 3rd in the country behind Sand and behind Pavia with a 90.9 PFF grade. It's those two. Those are the only two I think right now that should have a chance at winning this award. And basically whoever wins that game in the Big Ten title game, if they both get there, because it's not guaranteed just yet, but if they both get there, whoever wins that game versus Ohio State and Indiana most likely deserves the Heisman Trophy at the end of the year.
2 things there. Yeah, don't want to get out ahead of it and just assume that Ohio State's beating Michigan because, look, Michigan found a way to get another win this week, playing Maryland this coming week. Here's the reality. Michigan wins out. They're going to be the team instead of Ohio State. Unless, the three-way tie might be a thing, too, if it's Oregon and all of that. But Ohio State puts themselves in real danger if they lose to Michigan again. And the second thing I have there is just I don't know that Love's not – I agree he's the best back, right? And obviously in this draft, it's head and shoulders.
He's got he's down 200 yards in rushing. He's got 200 more receiving yards than him.
That does make up some difference there for sure. I think it's a down.
It's not guaranteed, but he's still the favorite.
It is a down to the wire because I think Hardy and Love are the two guys for sure. And Lacey, I love what Lacey's done, but he's had so many more carries and the averages aren't there. Although there's going to be some talk about Lacey as well, leading the nation right now in touchdowns, and even we have missed tackles forced. Lacey's leading. I think it's a tighter race. Here's the thing with Love, though. Same as Notre Dame. He gets Stanford and Syracuse as his last two.
Yeah, that's why I also said
if they want him to put up the number, if they want him to, if they're going to let him, they want him to put up the numbers, he can put up the numbers in those two games.
Also, we don't take into account of this, but I tell you, the voters will. The name factor, Jeremiah Love, everyone knows who that is. I'm sure there are some voters out there who know of Ahmad Hardy, but not enough about him. They're going to vote for Jeremiah Love too. So I think he's pretty clearly the favorite to win the award right now. Even though Ahmad Hardy's been phenomenal this year, I would be surprised if Jeremiah Love is not the Doak Walker Award winner at the end of the year. The way he's played and also just the amount of hype he had going into the year too. The one guy I want to bring up, Dalton, and I feel like there are a lot of people. Gunnar Stockton should be mentioned somewhere here too. He's had a great year. The one guy I want to bring up is Marcel Reed because he's third in odds right now. I personally wouldn't have Marcel Reed that high in my ranking. Marcel Reed this year is 75th in the country in PFF grade at 73.4. I think that Texas A&M offense has more to do with the great supporting cast they have around Marcel Reed at wide receiver with guys like Casey Concepcion and Mario Craver, and obviously a great offensive line and a good running game they have there too, and a great OC in Colin Klein. Marcel Reed hasn't had as much on his plate, I think, as other quarterbacks this year. Has he still played well and he's been a hero for A&M this year? Absolutely. But for me, Marcel Reed is not really a factor in this Heisman race right now.
Agreed. No, I think it's Santa Mendoza. Reed, look, he came through. He got the comeback against South Carolina, but he was also the reason they were down 27 points at halftime. There's the big moment he had earlier in the year against Notre Dame, but so many of those yards in that game came after the catch, and he was 17 of 37, and they really scratched and clawed to win that game. I'm not going to tell you Reed hasn't been good in moments where it mattered, but yeah, he is a bit more inconsistent than those other guys. I'm with you on that one for sure.
Yeah, 15 big-time throws and 15 turnover-worthy plays for Marcel Reed this year. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster this year. And yes, he still has an undefeated record as a starter. And if A&M wins out and wins the SEC, he will be in New York for the Heisman ceremony. But I think overall, I think that offense has more to do with the receiving core and the offensive line and the running backs than Marcel Reed, who's still been pretty good overall. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback by any means, but he's still been good overall. I just don't know if he's good enough to be in New York for the Heisman ceremony.
It is a two-horse race for me. And
yeah,
I think
agreed.
Probably most people at this point.
I think for me, the Heisman race is about who wins between Julian Sain and Fernando Mendoza, and then also who goes to New York on top of those two to be number 3 and number 4 in the Heisman race too. For me right now, it'll be Jacob Rodriguez and Jeremiah Love. For Dalton, it'll be Diego Pavia and Haynes King.